Behold the latest military news update. AFP Community News, hosted by Rofh Suzon every 12 noon, Mondays to Fridays. Only here on DWDD Armed Forces Radio. One AFP for a stronger Philippines.
Philippines and India strengthen defense ties in second maritime cooperative activity in West Philippine Sea. Over 100 former rebels withdraw support to CPP and PIMDF in Sorsogon. Senate ensures 10 billion pesos allocation for school internet and electrification. E-bikes and e-trikes to be barred from main roads starting December.
Hello to everyone, especially to our troops at Camp Emilio Ginaldo in Quezon City. Today is Friday, November 28, and this is AFP Community News, your source for the updates on the armed forces and other developments across the country. I am Rofh Suzon-Abay, here to bring you today's stories.
DWDD Armed Forces News.
For the brief overview of our news, the Armed Forces of the Philippines and the Indian Armed Forces conducted the second Philippine-India Maritime Cooperative Activity in the West Philippine Sea. Both navies executed coordinated drills, including communication exercises, flag hoist exercises, officer of the watch maneuvers, and a steam pass or passing exercise to enhance interoperability and joint response capabilities. The AFP deployed BRP Jose Rizal, FA-50s, and the W-3A Soko helicopter, while India fielded the INS Shahadri with its onboard aircraft. The successful activity underscored both nations' shared commitment to regional stability, international law, and stronger defense cooperation in the Indo-Pacific.
DWDD Armed Forces News.
More than 100 former members and supporters of the CPP and PINDF formally withdrew their support and pledged allegiance to the government during a ceremonial withdrawal of support and allegiance held at the Sorsogon Provincial Gymnasium. The Provincial Police Office and the Sorsogon Provincial Government spearheaded the event under the 7K Katarangkiluhan program to strengthen peace, security, and livelihood initiatives across the province. Lieutenant Colonel Erman Ryan Dalupe, the commanding officer of the 22nd Infantry Battalion, honored the former rebels for choosing peace and reaffirmed the Army's support for their reintegration. After the ceremony, the returnees proceeded with their amnesty program processing and were linked to government assistance packages, ensuring their smooth transition into mainstream society. And now let us hear more updates from Jai about ASEAN armies hold multilateral roundtable as Philippines highlights NCO leadership strengths.
Rofh, the senior enlisted leaders from ASEAN armies joined a multilateral roundtable discussion during the 13th ASEAN Sergeants Major Annual Meeting in Singapore. Philippine Army Sergeant Major Chief Master Sergeant Marvin Horane presented the Army's best practices in leading diverse teams during complex humanitarian assistance and disaster response operations and stressed the vital role of empowered non-commissioned officers. He also highlighted how ASMAM strengthens the professional development and adaptability of NCOs for both humanitarian missions and external security operations. The event reinforced regional collaboration as ASEAN armies continued to share knowledge and deepen military cooperation. This is Joy reporting for AFP Community News, one AFP for a stronger Philippines.
Thank you, Jai.
DWDD Armed Forces News.
The provincial government of Maguindanao del Sur presented and ceremonially destroyed 271 surrendered firearms yesterday as part of the Small Arms and Light Weapons Program. 601st Infantry Brigade Commander Brigadier General Edgar Cato said the weapons were voluntarily turned over from 15 municipalities in support of efforts to curb the proliferation of loose firearms. Local security officials witnessed the destruction of the high-powered weapons, followed by the distribution of cash aid, rice, and livelihood support to former firearm holders through the provincial government, Papru, and Aspire. Governor Datu Ali Midtimbang and Major General Jose Vladimir Cagara lauded the initiative and emphasized that the program strengthens normalization efforts and promotes long-term peace in Maguindanao del Sur.
WWD Armed Forces News.
The 17th Infantry Battalion, the local government unit of Lasam, formally handed over the newly completed concrete barangay access road in Kabatakan, West Lasam, Cagayan, under the Pamana Kalahi CIDSS Program 2025, with a ceremony graced by Department of Social Welfare and Development Undersecretary Alan Tanhusay and other key officials. The project aims to enhance mobility and provide residents with safer and more efficient access to essential services. Local leaders and stakeholders affirm that the improved road will help drive economic activity and support long-term livelihood development in the community. The 17th IB highlighted that its continued partnership with the LGU and agencies reinforces shared efforts to promote peace, progress, and inclusive growth in Lasam. On the other line, let's hear more from Shaira regarding AFP holds Talakayang Mabini 2025.
Yes, good afternoon. The Armed Forces of the Philippines conducted Talakayang Mabini 2025 in Camp Aguinaldo, Quezon City. The activity was an AFP pre-anniversary forum that aims to assess defense readiness and outline strategic directions under the theme Archipelagic Defense through Multi-Domain Operations. It examined the AFP's preparedness to safeguard national interests, addressed gaps in countering physical and non-physical threats, and explored integrated approaches across all operational domains. Senior commanders and defense experts delivered key presentations on physical and non-physical defense, providing insights vital in strengthening the country's security posture. This is Shai Rivera reporting for AFP Community News, one AFP for a stronger Philippines.
Thank you so much, Shaira.
WWD Armed Forces News.
The 31st Infantry Battalion intensified its community safety efforts by conducting an information awareness campaign in Barangay Nababarera, Baao, Camarines Sur, in partnership with the Baao Municipal Police Station. Unit officers discussed government programs, army recruitment, and the deceptive tactics of the CPP, NPA, NDF, while police representatives briefed residents on VAUSI and anti-illegal drugs. Barangay officials, farmers, youth, barangay peacekeeping action teams, and local residents actively participated in the activity. The 31st IB continues to strengthen peace and security by deepening collaboration with local governments and partner agencies.
WWD National News.
For our national news, the proposed 2026 national budget sets aside major funding to expand free internet access and provide electricity to thousands of public schools that remain off-grid. Senator Sherwin Gatchalian says the spending plan includes 5 billion pesos for the free public internet access program with a directive to prioritize schools under the Department of Education and state universities and colleges. The Department of Education will receive 1.5 billion pesos to boost connectivity in roughly 12,000 campuses that still lack internet. Meanwhile, the National Electrification Administration is allotted 3.6 billion pesos to energize about 6,000 schools. From our report on the ground, let's hear the report of Jimboy about 73rd IB joins Sarangani's Monato Festival Tree Growing Drive.
The 73rd Infantry Battalion joined the tree growing activity for Monato Festival 2025 in Malapatan, Sarangani Province yesterday. The activity led by the provincial government of Sarangani through Provincial Environment and Natural Resources Office highlighted the province's commitment to environmental protection, watershed rehabilitation, and climate resilience. A total of 1,000 bamboo seedlings were planted along the Lanmasla River as part of 1 million trees project under the Reforestation Development Program. The 73rd IB reaffirmed its dedication in supporting government and community partners in building a greener and more resilient Sarangani. This is Jimboy reporting for AFP Community News. One AFP for stronger Philippines.
Thank you, Jimboy.
DWDD National News.
The Senate has boosted the 2026 budget for the Public Transport Modernization Program to 2.5 billion pesos, nearly doubling the original allocation to strengthen nationwide route rationalization and technical planning. Senator J. Ejercito said the amount was raised from 1.3 billion pesos in the General Appropriations Bill, noting that the increase will help fix long-standing gaps in transport planning. Senator Risa Hontiveros also welcomed the higher funding as the Department of Transportation continues to process local public transport route plans from local government units across the country. The expanded budget will support consultations, studies, training, and consultant procurement as the agency works to finish 77% of route rationalization by mid-2026 and complete it by year-end.
DWDD National News.
The Philippine Charity Sweepstakes Office has delivered 82 patient transport vehicles, bringing the medical transport vehicle donation program to more than 98% completion nationwide. The vehicles were turned over to local government units in Western Visayas in the Negros Island region. 37 units were assigned to the Negros Island region and 45 to Western Visayas, in line with the President's directive to improve access to health services, especially in remote areas. PCSO officials said that new vehicles will serve as vital lifelines for communities across the two regions. From NOLCO, let's hear some information from Joanne. Fifth ID continues to advance peace and development in Kalinga province.
The 5th Infantry Division Commander Major General Galivar Señeres assured the people of Kalinga, especially residents of Pinukpok affected by recent security operations, that the government remains committed to safeguarding communities while working toward lasting peace and development. He also highlighted the continued implementation and expansion of the Kalinga Local Integration Program, which is now elevated into the more comprehensive K-CRES initiative. He confirmed that the former rebel recently surrendered voluntarily, reiterating the government's rehabilitation-oriented approach. General Señeres added that collaboration with local governments has significantly improved and described how community values play a key role in preventing conflict. He stressed that the peace and development continue to advance in the province. Addressing communities affected by military operations, Señeres appealed for understanding and caution. The Philippine Army further assured that assistance will be provided to impacted barangays once the Municipal Peace and Order Council convenes to evaluate the situation and coordinate support. This is John Sagak reporting for AFP Community News, one AFP for stronger Philippines.
Thank you, Joanne from NOLCO.
WWD National News.
For other national news, transportation officials said electric bicycles and electric tricycles will be barred from major roads starting in December. The Land Transportation Office is set to begin apprehending violators next month. Senator J. Ejercito announced the commitment from the agency, while Senator Rofh Tulfo backed the move, citing the heavier compliance requirements for traditional tricycle drivers who share the same road space. Officials also mentioned electric bicycles and electric tricycles involved in accidents or violations will be automatically impounded, noting the difficulty in issuing citations to unregistered units.
WWD National News.
The Bureau of Corrections has signed an agreement with the Philippine International Trading Corporation to modernize and streamline its procurement processes. Bucor Director General Gregorio Pio Catapang Jr. said the partnership aims to align the agency's systems with global standards and support broader government development goals. He noted that the modernization effort includes counter-trade provisions designed to make procurement more efficient, transformative, and transparent. Katapang also thanked the PITC for its support and said the initiative will help build the Bucor that is relevant, sustainable, and respected. And now from Mike, updates about Second ID recognizes PEFTOC veteran as a living hero.
Philippine Expeditionary Forces to the Korean veteran Sergeant Florindo Benedict to receive a hero's welcome at the 2nd Infantry Division in Camp Kapinpin, where soldiers paid tribute to his service in the Korean War. He joined machine gun familiarization activity and recalled his time as a gunner of the 10th Basic Combat Training during the heroic Battle of Yultong. Troops and officers shared a lance with the veteran and honored his role is one of the most defining moments of the Philippine military heroism. His visit reminded modern jungle fighters that courage, resilience, and service live on in the legacy carried by heroes who once fought on Korea's frozen hills. This is Mike reporting for AFP Community News, 1 AFP for a stronger Philippines.
Thank you, Mike.
DWDD National News.
Meanwhile, the Anti-Money Laundering Council said it is now examining the overseas assets of a high-ranking official from an independent constitutional body and a former official linked to irregular flood control projects. Executive Director Matthew David said coordination with foreign counterparts has already begun for individuals covered by recent freeze orders. He explained that once assets or properties abroad are identified, the Council can request foreign authorities to freeze them while also seeking information on any bank accounts or holdings. The AMLC earlier secured freeze orders on 3.9 billion pesos in assets, including hundreds of bank accounts, insurance policies, and several aircraft.
DWDD National News.
8 officials implicated in the Oriental Mindoro flood control controversy pleaded not guilty to grave charges before the Sandigan Bayan's 5th Division. Those arraigned included regional and assistant regional directors, engineers, an accountant, and members of the Bids and Awards Committee, while one official who failed to appear was reset for arraignment on December 2. The case stems from alleged irregularities in flood control projects that triggered a broader corruption probe. The court has scheduled a series of pre-conference hearings throughout January and February 2026. Let us hear more from Meljoya. First CRG about 69th IB kicks off Youth Leadership Summit 2025.
Yes, Rofh, the 69th Infantry Kaugar Battalion proudly kicked off the 3-day Youth Leadership Summit carrying the inspiring theme, My Nation, My Responsibility, Youth with Compassion and Conviction. The opening ceremony highlighted strong teamwork between the Army and the local community, led by First Lieutenant Ramon Rico O. Fantanalco, Infantry Philippine Army, Company Commander of 69th Infantry Battalion, and Second Lieutenant Christine L. Amparo, Adjutant General Service Philippine Army, Platoon Leader of 69th Infantry Battalion, together with Honorable Amado S. Roncal, Barangay Captain of Barangay Balsik, and Honorable Lu Narciso, Municipal Councilor of Hermosa, Bataan. A total of 50 young participants gathered with excitement and enthusiasm as they began their journey to strengthen leadership skills, embrace patriotism, and develop compassion, discipline, and social responsibility. This collaborative effort reflects the shared commitment of the Philippine Army, local leaders, and the community to nurture future leaders, particularly the youth, for them to be ready to serve, uplift, and create positive change in their communities and the nation. This is Meljo Inesio Arroco reporting for AFP Community News, 1 AFP for Stronger Philippines.
Thank you, Meljoya, for CRG.
DWDD National News.
House Speaker Faustino D. III said the chamber remains focused on its constitutional duties despite a new joint case referral filed before the Ombudsman against some members. He stressed that accountability is inherent in public service and that all lawmakers, whether under investigation or not, are ready to cooperate while continuing their work. D reiterated that the House has fully respected and cooperated with the Independent Commission for Infrastructure since the start of his leadership. He added that the institution is committed in ensuring truth, transparency, and the welfare of the Filipino people above all else.
DWDD National News.
The Bureau of Immigration announced that 7 more Filipinos trafficked to Myanmar have been safely repatriated. The group, consisting of 4 women and 3 men, arrived at the Ninoy Aquino International Airport after traveling from Bangkok. Immigration officials said most of them left the Philippines through an illegal migration corridor, with one posing as a tourist and one victim recounted being lured by a fake online job offer before being moved through Malaysia and Thailand into Myanmar. She described long work hours, abusive conditions, and extortion before her rescue and returned home. Some information from Kath about authorities recover armed cash IEDs in Bukidnon.
Yes, Rofh, good noon. Police Regional Office 10 commended Regional Mobile Force Battalion 10 personnel for a successful internal security operation that led to the recovery of an arms cache and improvised explosive devices in Sitio Dalagonon, Barangay Lantud, Talakag, Bukidnon. The 1004th Maneuver Company and other units recovered a shotgun, an anti-vehicle mine IED, blasting cups, and a CPP-NPA-NDF flag based on information from a former rebel informant. Authorities transported the seized firearms to the 1004th MC headquarters for documentation, while the IED and blasting cups were turned over to RECU 10 for proper disposal. The PRO 10 leadership said the operation advances the PNP's intensified campaign against armed groups and strengthens peace and security efforts in northern Mindanao. This is Kat reporting for AFP Community News, 1 AFP for Stronger Philippines.
Thank you so much, Kath. And now from Pap Simog, let us hear from Sean about Philippine Air Force advances holistic airman development through psycho-spiritual first aid initiatives.
The Philippine Air Force continues to strengthen the holistic development of its future airmen through the Office of the Assistant Chief of Air Staff for Personnel A1, the Office of the Air Force Sergeant Major, and the Air Force Psycho-Spiritual Emotional First Aiders alongside with Mission Amare. The PAF conducted a Psycho-Spiritual Emotional First Aid training at the Air Education and Training Command. The capacity building activity equips students from PAF Flying School and PAF Officer Candidate School with essential skills to provide mental, psychosocial, and spiritual support in times of crisis. A separate facilitators training was also held at Villamor Air Base, preparing key leaders to implement PEFA programs across their units. Participants learned basic traumatology, stress and trauma management, psychospiritual processing, and self-care, strengthening the mental, emotional, and spiritual resilience of PAF personnel. This is Sean Berganyo reporting for AFP News, 1 AFP for a Stronger Philippines.
Thank you, Sean, from Pap Simog.
DWDD National News.
Philippine National Police Acting Chief Lieutenant General Jose Melencio Nartates Jr. has ordered an aggressive manhunt for the suspects behind the killing of Barangay 3 de Mayo Captain Oscar Dodong Bukol Jr. in Digo City, Davao del Sur, who was shot while on Facebook Live. Investigators have identified several persons of interest based on the victim's previous social media posts. Police units in Davao del Sur and nearby provinces are conducting follow-up operations and working closely with local authorities to ensure the suspect's immediate capture, with a ₱1 million reward offer for information leading to arrests. Nartates urged residents to report any useful information and assured that security has been tightened across the city to prevent further incidents.
DWDD Armed Forces News.
And that concludes today's broadcast, and thank you for tuning in, especially to our audience on AFP Radio, the DWDD's Facebook page. Be sure to join and catch us again next week for more stories and updates, same time and same station. Once again, this is Rofh Suzon-Abay for AFP Committee News, 1 AFP for Stronger Philippines.
Behold the latest military news update. This is AFP Community News, hosted by Rofh Suzon every 12 noon, Mondays to Fridays. Only here on DWDD Armed Forces Radio. One AFP for a stronger Philippines.
Kayo ay nakatutok sa DWDD AFP Radio. Kami po ay kasapi ng KBP, Kapisanan ng mga Broadcaster ng Pilipinas.